All right, everybody. Hello, 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 and welcome. Good evening to you. Today is Friday, August 6th, 2021, and this is your PTE News Break. I'm your host, PTE, and this is the time of week where we catch up on the major news stories of the week and make any meaning out of it that we possibly can. So, welcome, everybody, to the show. Um, for those of you who are on the mailing list, you might be wondering why you didn't get a notification for this. A couple of months ago, I decided that I wasn't going to send out notifications for the news breaks because they're kind of standing. I might change my mind, but if I do, I'll change my mind next year. What I've learned about myself is I have to slowly incorporate things into my life. So I have a lot of ambitions, but you can't really accomplish all your ambitions at once, not all the time. You kind of have to work them in. So if I decide to start notifying about the news break, I'll do that starting next year. But I also don't want to irritate you guys. I hate spam, and even once a week can feel like spam. I don't know. So we'll see. We shall see. If I even continue the news break into 2022, I've been thinking about that also. So I may not continue it. We'll see. I'll have to get you guys' temperature on that. But anyway, do join the mailing list if you are interested in being notified of live streams only right now, all live streams except the news break. Okay. So thank you to everyone who's already joined the mailing list. It is so good to have you there. I'm so excited about it. Should have done it a long time ago. Well, I did, but it was so manual. That manual will break you, man. It really, really will. All right, so welcome. And you guys, I have a little surprise for you at the end of the show today. So stick around and stay tuned. I have a little surprise for you. And I'm kind of laughing already, so I'll try not to think about it. All right, so first up on our news break, Andrew Cuomo is in a little bit of trouble. He seems to have gotten himself in some trouble. Now, here's the issue with Andrew. I really don't know anything about this guy. So I don't know if this news is particularly shocking. Hearing about a politician engaged in inappropriate behavior is not shocking to me. But I don't know if this guy has like a good guy image in New York that's now being tarnished. I don't know. My New Yorkers will have to let me know. But Andrew Cuomo is up on the chopping block. So it says New York Governor Andrew Cuomo's months long fall from grace reached a nadir Tuesday when investigators said they substantiated sexual harassment allegations against him from 11 women, many of whom have worked for him. Cuomo, once widely beloved for his telegenic response to the CV pandemic, continues to deny the allegations and maintains he isn't going anywhere, but his political future might soon be out of his own hands. Here are the takeaways from the report and Cuomo's response, along with what happens next, okay? So, what was he accused of doing? Multiple women accused him of sexual harassment and assault. The public allegations, which started in December and cascaded over the winter, ranged from inappropriate comments to forced kisses and groping. They always force kissing somebody. Keep your mouth off of people. Gross. It's always a forced kiss. It said, did the Attorney General's probe find Cuomo guilty? It says, well, no, a probe can't find anyone guilty. That's for a judge and jury to decide. Plus, the probe was civil, not criminal in nature. But investigators did find the 11 women were telling the truth about Cuomo's behavior and that he created a hostile work environment rife with fear and intimidation. That part doesn't surprise me. The hostile work environment with fear and intimidation, that doesn't surprise me at all. Not at all. Will he be charged? It says State Attorney General Letitia James, who oversaw the probe, said there will be no criminal referral, but local police and prosecutors can use the evidence and findings to build their own cases. Okay? So, and then let's see here. It says Cuomo told the public to wait to judge him until the investigation was complete. What does he say now? Cuomo is more defiant than ever, disputing allegations in a taped response and saying, quote, the facts are much different than what has been portrayed, end quote, and that he, quote, never touched anyone inappropriately or made inappropriate sexual advances, end quote. He also alleged that the investigation itself was fueled by politics and bias, of course. Okay. So it seems like your pretty standard accusations. So far, I have not seen the R word come up. R, I'm not even going to spell it. I'll just say the R word, which is good. This isn't good. I mean, it's never good to be accused of this or to actually have this happen to you, especially from someone in a position of power. Um, but again, I'm not emotionally impacted. So, I guess we'll just wait and see. Like, what happens? Are they going to impeach him and then y'all have to get a new governor? Does it, I know, right? Who forces kisses? Does it, like, do you have to hold like an emergency election? Is there like a lieutenant governor who then steps in place of the governor? I don't know these things, but this made major news this week. Okay. And if it's true, and I do mean if, because you have to hold out for, everyone's innocent until proven guilty. But if it is true, it's believable because I think what a lot of people don't realize about power and men and women and all this, a lot of people will make the automatic assumption, well, he's rich, he's famous and powerful. Why would he have to force anyone to do anything? But again, you can't assume that everybody would want to kiss him. You can't assume that every woman, just because he's got money and he's famous and powerful, wants to jump all over that. You can't assume that. That's a false assumption. And imagine how much that hurts the ego. When you're rich, you've done everything you can possibly do as a man. You've gotten all the power you can get. You've gotten all the money, and you're important and famous. And have a woman still tell you no? Do you realize what a blow to the ego that is? That's why they start the groping and the alleged groping and the alleged kissing and forcible touching, because it's like, you're not going to tell me no. Not after I've done all this. It would be one thing if I was a regular man on the street, but I'm fill in the blank. You're not going to tell fill in the blank no. Okay. And then on top of that, they probably probably either are narcissists or have narcissism issues. So again, if it is true, I mean, I almost didn't run a story on it, but I figured it's probably pretty important, especially to those of you who live in New York. But again, is this like major breaking news? Are y'all like stunned, or is it like, yeah, of course, y'all have to let me know. Okay. Oh, the lieutenant governor would take his place. Okay. We're just going to read this executive summary that they actually published it online. So this is the executive summary that was prepared against him. Let me see if they put a date on here. August 3rd, 2021. So just a few days ago. Pretty lengthy report, but we're just going to look at this part. It says, we, the investigators appointed to conduct an investigation into allegations of sexual harassment by Governor Andrew M. Cuomo, conclude that the governor engaged in conduct constituting sexual harassment under federal and New York state law. Specifically, we find that the governor sexually harassed a number of current and former New York state employees by, among other things, engaging in unwelcome and non-consensual touching, as well as making numerous offensive comments of a suggestive and sexual nature that created a hostile work environment for women. Our investigation revealed that the governor's sexually harassing behavior was not limited to members of his own staff, but extended to other state employees, including a state trooper on his protective detail and members of the public. Oh, oh, oh. Did y'all catch that? It says, but extended to other state employees, including a state trooper on his protective detail and members of the public. We also conclude that the executive chamber's culture, one filled with fear and intimidation, while at the same time normalizing the governor's frequent flirtations and gender-based comments, contributed to the conditions that allowed the sexual harassment to occur and persist. That culture also influenced the improper and inadequate ways in which the executive chamber has responded to allegations of harassment. Okay. So a lot of these workplaces are disasters in this way. And it has a lot to do with the fact that they're narcissistic safe havens. We could start there. But these cultures, you know, have the same people working in them sometimes 20 and 30 years, and people don't change, they don't take training, they don't invest in training. And basically, you just have this little den of people who all seem to eventually revert to this. It all ends up being harassment and intimidation and fear. Why? Like, why don't workplaces ever default into like kindness and good and love and, you know what I mean? Generosity and you know what I mean? Why do they always eventually end up like this? Is this just who human beings are? Are we just terrible people? And we have to work really hard not to be this? I mean, because this is so common, like so common. So I don't know. It's an interesting thought. It's something to think about. But Cuomo's in trouble, got himself in trouble. Of course, he denies it. Then one of the women who accused him of groping her has filed a criminal complaint against him. So I guess the sequence of events is this probe has taken place. He was found, I guess, liable in the probe, I guess. So now she's gone ahead and filed a criminal complaint against him. He must be getting ready to run for president or something. Then they did, I guess, a survey, and it says a whopping 70% of of New York voters say Governor Cuomo should resign, according to a new poll. A solid majority of state voters, 55%, told the Quinnipiac University poll that Cuomo should face criminal charges. And then State Attorney General Letitia James released a report this week which found that the Democratic governor sexually harassed at least 11 women and broke federal and state laws with his conduct. Okay. So, it, and just to kind of speak to a general point, and y'all wonder why we don't trust the government. Y'all wonder why some of us are struggling with trusting the government. I mean, you guys aren't the most stand up people. You're not the most stand up people on planet Earth. So it's kind of like, again, character kind of holds static across everything, really. So it's like if you have exceptionally poor character in one area, why would I think that you would then have amazing character in another? And again, it's not to say, like, don't get me wrong. A lot of us perform very well in some things and then very poorly in others. But I think you guys get my point. My point is when you hear story after story after story like this, and y'all, then you wonder why we don't trust the government. You wonder why we don't just believe you and believe everything that you say. You know what I mean? So I don't know. But that's everything that's going on with Cuomo. I guess we'll keep an eye on that. It looks like he might get kicked out. People are asking him to resign, and he has said he will not. So maybe they just need to mic up every office and install visible cameras in every office, every hallway, and everyone just knows this entire building is mic'd and there's cameras everywhere. And they all work. And we keep the footage forever. Hey to everybody in the chat, welcome. It's good to see you all. I have a surprise for you guys, but you have to wait till the end of the show. And I can't think about it because I'll start laughing. So let me focus. All right. Dang, I always start laughing right before stories that I'm not supposed to be laughing at. So let me look away and think of something awful. Welcome everybody in the chat. How's it going? Happy Friday to you all. Okay, dang, why did I have to get a laugh right before this story? Okay. So there was some drama at the Pentagon earlier this week that resulted in the deaths of the suspect and an officer. Okay. It says an officer and suspect are both dead after gunshots near the Pentagon entrance. It says an officer died after being stabbed Tuesday during a burst of violence at a transit station outside the Pentagon, and a suspect was shot by law enforcement and died at the scene. The Pentagon, the headquarters of the U.S. military, was temporarily placed on lockdown after gunshots were fired Tuesday morning near the entrance of the building. A Pentagon police officer who was stabbed later died, according to officials who were not authorized to discuss the matter and spoke to the Associated Press on condition of anonymity. More details about the violence were expected at a Pentagon news conference. The connection between the shooting and the stabbing of the officer was not immediately clear. Authorities did not immediately provide details or the sequence of events. The incident occurred on a Metrobus platform that is part of the Pentagon Transit Center and just steps from the Pentagon, according to the Pentagon Protection Force. Wait a minute now. According to the Pentagon Protection Force Protection Agency. I hope that's a typo. The facility is just steps from the Pentagon building, which is in Arlington County, Virginia, just across from the Potomac River from Washington, D.C., okay? So, rest in peace to the officer. And I don't think you're supposed to say rest in peace to the suspect. I don't think you're supposed to. Or is it in good taste? We'll just say thoughts and prayers to the families of all those affected. How's that? That covers everyone. So the family of the slain attacker has apologized for what took place. Okay. And it says the family of the slain man accused of killing a police officer Tuesday at the Pentagon Transit Center apologized to the officer's loved ones. In a statement provided to CNN on Friday, the family of Austin William Lons said it's devastated by the loss of our son Austin and of Officer George Gonzalez. We want Officer Gonzalez's family and friends to know that we are so sorry and heartbroken for them. We will forever be thankful for his service and dedication to the safety and well-being of our country, the family said. Well, that's really, really classy. I don't see that very often. Do you guys? Do y'all see that? I don't see the families of the perpetrator or of the accused apologizing very often. I don't see that. I think that's very classy and tasteful. The FBI said Lons got off a bus at the Pentagon Transit Center on Tuesday morning and immediately, without provocation, attacked Gonzalez, a Pentagon Force Protection Agency officer. After Gonzalez was stabbed, a struggle ensued, during which he was mortally wounded. Lons then shot himself with the officer's service weapon. Wow. The Pentagon was placed on lockdown after a civilian bystander was injured during the event. The person was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries and later released. Says Jimmy Berry, who's representing Lons' family, told CNN that he was in the D.C. area this week with his father for a medical reason. In the statement, Lons' family explained that the last few months of his life were overcome with many mental health challenges, but he was never diagnosed with any mental health conditions. Check that social media. While we sit in great disbelief over the events that occurred and continue to mourn for lives lost, we're hopeful this tragedy can help bring greater awareness and change to the growing mental health crisis in our country. Our family would greatly appreciate privacy during this most difficult time as we continue to grieve, okay? So, listen, here's what I have to say. As the world attempts to open back up and attempts to go back to normal, you guys cannot let your guard down, okay? You see how this just said that it was immediate and without provocation? Again, you don't have eyes in the back of your head. You can't watch what's going on at all times around you. But you gotta be a little bit more suspect. Be a little bit more comfortable looking people right in their face. Now, don't stare, but be more comfortable looking at their face. You know what I mean? Look at them. Don't look down. Don't look away. Look at them. You know? Now, I'm not trying to start like a bunch of confrontations out here, but what I'm saying is just examine people, examine your circumstances. Like if you live in a neighborhood and there's strange cars there with people just parked and just sitting in them, but not getting out, not doing anything, like just take note, pay attention. I'm not saying you have to do anything and go up there and be a busybody. And you know what I mean? Hey, who are you? Do you live here? Don't do that. But just take note. Hey, I've never seen that car before. Oh, hey, I've never seen that person before. Take note. Take note of what's normal around you, what's regular, what's out of place. Like, the family was right when they said, well, this could turn political. I won't turn it political. The family was right when they said we need to take note of this growing mental health issue in our country. Like, this is crazy. Like, it's just like every single day. And I know that we've had issues with violence in the past and really throughout the history of this country, but it just seems so regular now. It's like so every day. Like so every day. Um And of course, we could speculate to all those reasons, but this is not the channel for that. Okay. And if you were just curious, here's what the officer who unfortunately lost his life looked like or looks like. And not to give him any shine, but you might be curious, you know, this is what the perpetrator looks like, or the alleged suspect looks like. Okay. Now, some people might look at him and say he looks normal. You know what I mean? Just like a regular guy, like a college kid or something. You know what I mean? So be careful. Yeah, exactly. When you look at people, it's just letting them know that you see them. Like when I'm walking, let me get him off because we don't want to promote him. Oh boy, can't wait to talk about this. But when I'm walking, say in a grocery store, I don't like it when people walk all up on me like like they're not satisfied with the speed that I'm going, cuz literally I promise you I'm walking as fast as I can. My legs aren't that long, so I really can't mosey. I don't have mosey type legs. I can't mosey around. They're not long like that. So I kind of always walk with a little half step. So how dare you pull up on me as if you're not satisfied, right? But I'm the type of person who I'll let it go. I'll concede. So like I'll duck off on an aisle just to let you go, just to get you off my back, which I'm sure is what you wanted. And that's fine. You see how everyone walked away happy and peaceful? I ducked down the aisle at peace. They went on about their business at peace, but I still don't appreciate it. Anyway, lately though, when I feel someone up on me like that, I'll turn around and go, oh, I thought I felt somebody back there. Oh, thought I felt somebody back there. Ooh, thought I felt a little shadow back there. Hey, shadow man, shadow woman. Huh. Hmm. Like, back up off me, man. Like, you're way too close. You're way too close for comfort. It's rude. It's also rude. Okay. Now, in fairness, like, don't drag your feet and hold up the aisle when it's just a little two-person aisle and you know people are behind you. Like, move out the way. That's what I do. Like, I move out the way, or I try to strategically position myself so I'm not in the way. Like, we all need to be a little bit more courteous. I think part of what might be happening to the mental health of people are people are just breaking down and they're just tired of it all. And what I mean by that is like like for example, that like people losing courtesy. So it's like everywhere, not everywhere. I won't say everywhere, but oftentimes where you everywhere you turn, it feels like people are just rude and discourteous and like all that stuff adds up over time. You see what I mean? So I guess what I'm saying is the whole world can't be bad at once. Like you can have one or two bad spots, but everything else needs to be good. And I think for a lot of people, it just feels like everything is bad. And that's why they're snapping. Turn around and say, what's up, creeper? No, I'm going to turn around and go, Jeepers, creepers, you scared me. No, no, no. I'm going to turn around and act like I'm putting my arm around their torso. And when they kind of like recoil, like, what are you doing? I'm going to say, oh my God, I thought you were my husband. You were so close to me. I thought you were my husband. Only my husband walks that close to me. So I thought you were him. My bad. I'm so sorry. I hope he didn't see that. Jeez. And start looking around all sketchy, like he's around the corner. You know what I mean? I think that's what I'm going to do. Just start touching them. Just turn around, act like I'm putting my arm right around that torso When they go, whoa, I'm gonna say, whoa, I thought you were my husband. Only my husband walks that close to me. Anyway. In this edition of On the Plane, we've been talking about this. We've got to have been talking about this for well over a year now. Well over a year. Okay. It's happened again. Okay. Let's see. Is this an actual video? Well, while this might play, it says Frontier Airlines. Hold on, I'm going to speed up to the part. Hopefully, if it'll let me. Oh, yeah. Frontier Airlines now says it supports and will pay the crew of flight attendants it had earlier said were suspended after using tape to restrain a passenger charged with groping and punching them. So it doesn't look like this video is going to play, but we got backups. So I'm going to put pause there. I don't know why they don't play over here sometimes. It's weird. It doesn't look, oh no, we have to see this. Here we go. Yeah. Oh, man. Okay, so let's read about it really quick, okay? It says the man who got duct tape to his seat aboard a Frontier plane was incoherently rambling and yelling shortly before he got his trap shut for him. And it's truly a sight to see. See, this is why I couldn't be a news anchor, y'all. I told y'all this before. There was a moment in time in my life where I really thought I wanted to be like a cable news network anchor or a local news anchor, but I can't do it. Like, you're asking me to keep a straight face on live TV? You serious? With some of these stories you run across my desk? Like, I can't do that. I can't do that. TMZ has obtained new video showing a different angle of Max Berry getting restrained on his weekend flight from Philly to Miami. And it captures much of what was happening right before a male flight attendant wrapped him up in tape and the moments thereafter. What did I tell you guys? Watch. After several minutes of Barry ranting, the attendant walks up and then a scuffle breaks out. Not too long after, you see Barry taped to his seat and going on a tirade about what this means, big picture. Something is happening to these babies on these planes, honey. To him, it signaled war was imminent, although he couldn't seem to articulate why. Between all the cussing and shouting and slurring of his words, it sounds like pure nonsense. So let's see if we can get this video to work. Oh, no, this is the taping. That's the taping. Didn't we just watch the taping, though? Is there another? No, I guess that's it. So here he is. Honey, I know this isn't the channel for this, but it's almost like these people are being activated. Okay? Listen, something is setting them off. I don't know if it's those x-ray machines that they're walking through when they're checking in, if those big old magnets are just moving something in the brain. I don't know. The pressure of the airplane, the jet fuel, I don't know. Because we've been doing this for a long time. We've been flying for a long time, you guys. Trump has been gone, so we can't blame Trump anymore. There was a long time when we were like, oh, look what Trump made people do. You know, look how he has them all worked up and you know what I mean? What's the word? Emboldened. But he's been gone for well over a year now. We can't blame him anymore. He's like quiet. Is Trump okay? Somebody check on Trump. I haven't heard a peep. So we can't blame him. It's not him doing this. They need a lasso. They need a papoose board. Do y'all know what a papoose board is? Let me see if I can just show you really quick. A papoose board is a medical product that primarily is used in dentist offices for children who aren't handling the procedure very well and need a little restraint. Let's see. Who's bored? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what I'm thinking is something along the lines like this, okay? I actually think from a safety perspective, okay, from a health perspective, and from what's the word? Like a spatial sorting perspective, we can literally stand this person up in the corner. You see what I mean? Once we get them papoosed in there, they're not going anywhere. And some of you got papoosed as children. Look at that. And doesn't it look calming? Doesn't it look like it would really calm you down? It's like a hug. So instead of calling it the papoose, we could call it the hug. And we just keep a couple of them on board of all sizes. And when you really start whiling and start acting like you don't have the sense that God gave you, we just papoose you. Okay? You get papoosed up. And that's that. It's a medical stabilization board. Okay? It's a comfort board. Exactly. It's a comfort board. And I think we just need a few on the plane. And they're portable. Look how portable that is. You would only need 2 people to carry that. Versus like the 5 or 6 cops you typically need to wrestle somebody off of the plane. You could literally put them in this, kick them over, not face down. What I mean is like just take them off the wall, like how you would lift a mirror that hangs on the or that leans up against the wall. You just pick them up off the wall, tip them over. Someone gets the head, someone gets the feet, and they get toted off the airplane. You could slide them into the back of the van. You see what I mean? I think we're here. We're duct taping people to airplanes now. Why not a papoose board? I think the airlines would be open to this. I would. It would make me feel very safe as a passenger knowing you're back there just propped up against the wall. And you could be cussing. We could put a spit bag over your head and be done with it. You see what I'm saying? Okay. The hug board, the huggy board. We could call it a huggy board. Now, the difficult part would be getting the person in the huggy board. But once you get them in the huggy board, you're home free. No more problems. You're not going to have any more problems out of this person. Okay? So it's just something to think about, all right? Let's move on. So I actually already talked about this on my other channel. So I'm just going to do a touch and go here. My other channel is A Deeper PTE. You can subscribe to that mailing list. However, you have to let me know via email. And I apologize for that second step. I don't have much control over it right now. I just don't feel like paying for a separate account for that channel. When that channel hits 1,000 subs, I'll buy a separate account for that channel. But for now, if you're interested in that channel, you have to email me and just put A Deeper PTE in the subject line, and I will add you to that segment. Okay. So New York City is the first, it appears, to require vaccines for entry to restaurants and gyms and Broadway and pretty much almost everything else. New York City will require proof of vaccination to enter all restaurants, fitness centers, and indoor entertainment venues, Mayor Bill de Blasio announced on Tuesday. If you are unvaccinated, unfortunately, you will not be able to participate in many things. If you want to participate in our society fully, you've got to get vaccinated, end quote. The policy will take effect over the next few weeks. The city's move comes as businesses across corporate America begin rolling out vaccine requirements for employees, and in some cases for customers and clients to show their proof of vaccination as well. Broadway theaters have already announced they will require vaccinations for both audience and staff at least through the month of October. And New York is not alone in its vaccine push. Countries in Europe have rolled out various incentives, including cash payments and free football stadium tours, in an effort to get people vaccinated. I would highly encourage those of you who are holding out in negotiations to ask for things like 1 year of follow up healthcare and perhaps at least 1 year of UBI payments as an incentive. They're already paying some people $1 million in lotteries. So I think that's a reasonable ask. 1 year of follow up healthcare and 1 year of UBI attached to the vaccine as an incentive. And that's all I'm going to say. Let's move on. In more vaccine news, clinical trials are underway in Jacksonville, Florida for the third COVID-19 vaccine dose. Moderna said its COVID-19 vaccine remains 93% effective as much as 6 months after the second dose. So after 6 months have passed, they are in trials to make sure that you get your third dose. Clinical trials are underway in Jacksonville for a third CV-19 dose. Late last year, there was speculation of the vaccinations becoming seasonal. Researchers are now testing booster shots. Dr. Michael Corinne of the Encore Research Group said they want to see if a third dose will make it less likely for someone to spread and carry the CV. We know that viruses in general mutate, and certainly CV-19 has mutated. So the question is, do you need to adjust the vaccines as time goes on? A recent surge of the Delta variant in the Jacksonville area is creating long lines at testing sites. Renisha Rusum, who is fully vaccinated, said that if officials recommend another dose, she'll take it. I'll do what I have to do because I'm looking at the line for those out here trying to get tested for COVID compared to those with the vaccine. I'd rather be in the shorter line, Rusum said. On Thursday, Moderna announced its CV-19 vaccine remains 93% effective as much as 6 months after the second dose. The company also is testing a potential booster shot, saying its booster candidates show robust antibody responses to the CV-19 variants. Pfizer CEO said its vaccine effectiveness drops to 84% after 6 months. He said they're confident a third dose will take up the immune response to protect against the Delta variant. Infectious disease experts told Reuters that a booster shot of another CV-19 vaccine may be needed for those who got the J&J shot as well. And then finally, we'll stop here. I have some groups of patients that are still very hesitant to get one dose of a vaccine and others that want to get their third dose immediately or fourth dose. So there's no information that getting more and more doses protects you better and better. Okay? So you guys can look forward to a third shot coming your way this fall. I'm excited for you and your boosters. But while all this is going on, the WHO has called for a temporary moratorium on administering booster shots of the CV-19 vaccine. Okay. So just as a quick summary, they are currently testing and researching and developing a booster shot for all three, it appears, primary. But at the same time, the WHO is asking them to kind of like stop temporarily. And we're going to find out why. Why has the WHO asked them to do this? This was published on August 4th of 2021. The World Health Organization called Wednesday for a temporary moratorium on the use of COVID-19 vaccine booster shots by wealthy countries, saying the global priority should be on increasing supplies of first doses to countries that are still struggling to protect health workers and older adults. Director General Tedros said that countries should hold off on starting to give booster doses until at least the end of September, though it was quickly clear that the Global Health Agency might extend the call if vaccine doses available to lower income countries do not increase to adequate levels. Tedros said the aim of the moratorium would be to get enough vaccine supply into COVAX, the WHO-led international distribution system, to vaccinate 10% of the populations of all countries. That 10% includes people at the highest risk from CV-19 infection. Excuse me. Let's see here. It says, I understand the concern of all governments to protect their people from the Delta variant, but we cannot and should not accept countries that have already used most of the global supply of vaccine, using even more of it, while the world's most vulnerable people remain unprotected. So basically, after reading this, I couldn't figure out if he's imposing or suggesting the moratorium just because it's not fair that the vaccine distribution has gone the way it is, or if he's suggesting it because he's worried about like this super immuno strong group of people and we still have people who are weak. Like, I did not gather that from this article, and I did read all the way through earlier today, and I couldn't quite figure it out. I might need to read it again, but from what I read, it just sounds like he just wants a more equitable distribution of vaccines. Again, I'm saving all my high level and other level commentary about this for my other channel. So if you're interested, you can head over there to a deeper PTE. All right. But just know that they are working on a booster shot for you guys for fall. And the WHO is at the same time asking them to put a temporary moratorium on giving out the boosters so everybody else can catch up. Okay. Now, we won't go through that. Just know that United Airlines is going to require all U.S. employees to be vaccinated. Okay. So if you fly United, they'll all be vaccinated. So we are going to close on this story, and then I'm going to give you guys your surprise. Okay. And I almost didn't share this story, but I just figured, why not? Like, I just feel like we all could use a good laugh. It says, woman who can fit an entire McDonald's large fry in her mouth breaks the Guinness World Record. Check her out. Wow. It says a Connecticut woman who used to be bullied for her big mouth is now a proud Guinness World Record holder. Samantha Ramsdale broke the record for having the largest mouth gape. I didn't know that was a word, mouth gape. For having the loud... The next time you're arguing with your narcissist, just say, would you shut your mouth gape? For having the largest mouth gape of a female after going viral on TikTok, Ramsdale's mouth, capable of holding an entire large order of fries from McDonald's, measures 6.52 centimeters or about 2.5 inches wide. I never thought it would be possible to be this famous off my mouth, but it's incredible, she told Guinness. The 31-year-old has amassed 1.7 million followers on TikTok after posting videos of stuffing 3 donuts in her mouth at one time and other feats requested by users. Let's see what we got here. I'm going to mute it, though, just for the sake of, everything. Oh, why did I make it big? I didn't want to make it big. There we go. Oh, my God. It's like a dragon. Wow. Oh, bless her little heart. Wow. Okay. I guess you have to find your path. Girl, you're gonna choke to death if you keep that up, girl. You're gonna choke to death. While she's doing that, let me get you guys' surprise ready. I can't even do 2 things at once. Okay, that's good. I think we're good. Oh, it was 5 minutes long anyway. Okay, let me get you guys' surprise ready. Hold on. I'm gonna just leave it on something. There. Oh no, not that. I want to leave it like right there. There you go. All right, so let me get you guys a surprise ready, and then we will close the show. Okay. And I appreciate you all for being here. It's always so fun to catch up with you and just see what's going on and also just kind of document everything because a lot of stuff disappears off the internet, you know? So oftentimes we need to document these things. Oh, dang it. I can't. I have to make it. Okay. All right. 1 second. I'm getting it ready. Ah, oh, they suck. Oh, boom. Yes. Okay. Sorry. All right. Talk to each other while I do things. I'm going to mute myself. All right. Talk to each other. Okay. I can't do it the way that I wanted to. But you guys, I made a video and I haven't made a video in forever. And I wanted to premiere it, but Premiere won't let me pick. Like I was trying to pick 8:50 and it won't let me. The next available time is 9 o'clock, and I don't want to wait till 9. So I'm just going to go ahead and make the video public right now. Oh, I can set it as an instant premiere. Oh, perfect. Okay, let me close the show. Everyone, thank you so much for watching. Um, I'm going to go ahead and close the show, and I'm going to make the new video instant premiere right now. So go check it out. I'll meet you over there, and everyone take care. It's great to see you again. Talk to you next week. Bye.